Our first speaker is Paul D'Andrea. Paul is a commercial photographer specializing in portraits, headshots, marketing and photography, and corporate events. He had a career that jumped from social work to coding to commercial photography. His pets are 3 Nigerian dwarf goats, and in his free time, he hikes, watches movies, plays video games, and is a politics junkie. Please help me welcome Paul to the Spark stage.
All right, thank you. It's really great to be here. Robbie, I've had Crohn's disease since my early 20s, so if you want me to switch over to colonoscopy stories, I can do that on the fly. I'm going to be using a teleprompter, so if I screw up, we can blame the teleprompter here. So, already off to a good start. All right, so I've lived a few lives in my career. As we said in the introduction, I have a degree in psychology, grew up in New Jersey. There we are. I got my degree in psychology. I did social work in New Jersey, then moved to Indiana, where I did coding, help desk support, and now photographer. We all strive for perfection, but often in times in creative pursuits, perfection is highly subjective at best or just impossible at worst. What would a perfect portrait look like? One where the human flaws of the subject are so completely removed as to leave them unrecognizable. And in coding, perfection might take so much time that it would be impossible to complete a project. So given the time constraints in our work environments, we have to compromise. So perfection often lies in finding the perfect compromise. Let's look at what a perfect compromise might be in coding. Coding is like building with Legos, only you make the blocks. Often your initial go at building the blocks is a little messy, even though they work. So it's a good idea to spend some time refactoring your code. Refactoring is time spent rebuilding the blocks so they're easier to maintain or work a little more efficiently. In the real world, there are almost always time constraints. You need to push the code and go live, so the perfect compromise might be to fix the bugs and spend less time refactoring. In portraiture, which is what I do for my day job now, the perfect compromise often lies in the editing process. I have choices to make in Photoshop. I can remove blemishes and smooth wrinkles, even have plugins that reshape the face to lose a few pounds. My perfect compromise lies in satisfying my clients' desires to look their best while still having them look like them. I think about this compromise often in equipment purchases. Professional photography equipment is very expensive. There's always new gear to buy. The absolute best gear is prohibitively expensive, where camera bodies and lenses can go well beyond $10,000. There are medium format digital cameras that are $50,000, $60,000. So when buying new gear, I often shoot for just past good enough. It's not perfect, but it's perfect for what I need. Otherwise, I'm spending a lot of money on features that I never use. I see perfect compromises in other careers as well. My family lives in a 1950s fixer-upper. I've done some of the fix-up work myself, but the lack of straight walls can be a real challenge. The contractors who we've worked with over the years needed to make extensive compromises because of the existing imperfections. But they absolutely make their work look perfect. That's actually this slide. All right, so there are, of course, things that should never be compromised. For me, backups are an example. I have a stack of external hard drives on my desk, a network storage box in the basement, and I use an off-site backup service. For each of the over 600,000 images, I've got 3 copies at home and the off-site backup. It's 15 terabytes of photography. So we live in a world of constraints. We don't have limitless time and resources, so we must, by necessity, find a perfect compromise. Thank you.
Don't delay. Get your ticket for the next Sparks event today.